What's going on, guys? MrDalekJD here. We're less than a month away to Black Ops Cold War releasing, but with the beta, they have already started littering the game with Easter eggs. And today they have added a huge Easter egg hunt, which has involved us having to go into the multiplayer maps, find clues to piece together a larger puzzle. And this is insanely cool, so I definitely advise you stick to the end of this video so you don't miss out on anything. And as we dive in, I'd love to know your thoughts on these Easter eggs and your thoughts on everything in general. Huge thank you to my sponsor Elgato for sponsoring the channel. If you want to check out any of their products and capturing content for Black Ops Cold War or next-gen consoles, I've got a link in the description. Now, this huge Easter egg begins on porntakesporn.com/TV. They added a new VHS tape which plays a new message.
You've been playing along quite nicely, though we're not here to be nice. Soon we'll see what you're made of, what you know, how you think. Your reflexes under pressure, hard judgment calls in the heat of battle. A choice that my father got wrong.
Now, as this happened, I got an email from the website, and I'm sure you guys have got emails too. It reads, "The next stage of our journey is upon us. Here is your decompiler key and instructions." So I have this image, and every single person watching this video, if you got this email, you have a different image. It then tells you to go to /deep cover and execute these instructions. And if we go on the website, at the bottom, there's a phone number and an access code. Here's what it sounds like when you phone this number and put in your code.
Welcome, operative. Perform the following steps to verify your credentials. Enter your personal access code, followed by the pound key. Access granted. Enter your 9-digit data retrieval sequence.
Now from here, if we follow the instructions given on the email, we need to connect all these magenta boxes so it forms a perfect line for the arrow to go around, cross all of them horizontal or vertically, and then exit, which gives us our code. So we're going to type it in, and here's what she says.
Data retrieval sequence accepted. Await further instructions at Pawn Takes Pawn. Goodbye.
And the moment that the code was accepted on the phone, my web page changed from what we did see before to this, which is a new URL. That being /best laid plans. And this is where things get seriously cool. We get images of different missions from Black Ops 1 described to us. But more importantly than that is where the beta comes into hand, because we have Easter egg images from Moscow and Miami. The first image we see is of like a train timetable program for the metro in Moscow. And this second image is a massive part of a puzzle where we have to go into the actual game itself, find the full metro map in Moscow, and follow these 19-step instructions to give us a URL to the next part of this puzzle. Furthermore, with Miami, we get a postcard that says, "Get a clue, visit soon, Miami." And on the back of this postcard, we see this came from the Paramore Hotel, which is the main left side of the map building of Moscow, which is so cool. We get a bunch of instructions, 14 in fact. You can see the stamp, which is amazing. And then we have a post-it note with /insert coin. If you go to insert coin, it comes up saying name the game, identify the arcade cabinet in the Cayman. Now we actually have to go into the beta and on the map Miami to find out what this Easter egg answer is. And the Cayman is a restaurant all the way at the far back of the map. And this is so funny because I noticed this in the alpha weeks ago and pointing this out in a video. There is a 1980s arcade game called Fishing Derby. You can't play it, but it's there. So if you type in Fishing Derby on this and submit it, you get another website, which is Shards of History, with another clue that says decode message in the visitor center. And it says, "I see you received my postcard. Follow the timeline and we'll be in touch soon." Now, the visitor center has this board that shows plenty of historical moments from Miami from the 1800s to the 1980s. What we have to do is take a picture of that board, overlay it with this little clue that we've been given, and follow these connecting red dots and follow them, starting with the main rectangle in the middle and just following it along, connecting up every single one. And I believe it's a letter from each of these historical events that is going to make up this next message. And this message is hit lingual chaos. So if you submit hit lingual chaos, you get /set in the West, where we have a new character in the Black Ops storyline that we've not seen before called Robert Aldrich. And this is part of a CIA document. You can see it's classified. Now, what is incredibly interesting is if you've watched my video from last week talking about some of the more obvious Easter eggs that are physically in the beta, such as Raul Menendez, for instance, there is a massive storyline connecting all of these multiplayer maps to the campaign. And this is exactly what we're seeing here. There is a note from the hotel written in Russian that says operators operating in the United States have taken on American disguises. On my way, Aldrich. So what we're seeing is a Russian operative who is pretending to be, and the CIA clearly know of this because they've written a record of his activities where he arrived in the lobby of the hotel, checking into his room. He then exited and walked to the nearby visitors center. He then walked to the Cayman, a restaurant. He then had a meal at the restaurant, and while waiting for his name to be called, he played the video game inside the restaurant. He then went back to his room and left the following morning, but he was not observed delivering or retrieving any information materials or equipment during his stay in Miami. And we also get a board that shows a ton of different areas throughout the United States, which could be potential locations for this character in the future, with the message at the end: from Moscow to Miami, enemies plot, infiltrating, assimilating, building their network, waiting for their time to strike. So that's Miami's Easter egg solved, but Moscow has one as well. So let's go back to Moscow. Clue mentions start by finding the full metro map in Moscow. Now this is the part that really lost me, but apparently this spells out the URL Funambulist, and this gives you this page here with a little checkerboard, and it says stay alive. Find the chess match in Moscow. Determine which moves are safe and legal for each piece in play to decode the passphrase. Now the moment I saw this chessboard in Moscow, I knew this had to be related to Pawn Takes Pawn because it's of a literal chess game. So by observing and using this box that's provided, we can work out that the stay alive code was pseudo sacrifice. Typing that in gave us Rise in the East, with 2 achievements unlocked for retrieving intelligence from Moscow and infiltrating the network. Click here to claim your reward. And this is where things get crazy because there is so much information on this page compared to the last. We have so many images of different characters throughout the Black Ops Cold War story. There is a lot to talk about, but we'll start with this note that's on the top right. It says Telegram, category and special old marks, where to whom I successfully used our contacts in Western Europe to place another group of agents in their halls of power. We will reap the fruits. Soon, Rudnick. To me, it sounds like we're seeing the opposite side of this American story here, where the KGB are sending out all of these Russian operatives to pretend to be American for their own personal goals. As we look down at all of these different names, and I'm just amazed at the level of detail in all of this. There is just so much to look at here. It says jugglers and contortionists of every kind enter the ring and set the stage, with the bottom saying Operation Red Circus. Now, if we go to the reward for what we achieved for completing this Easter egg, the reward is, congratulations, you have unlocked an extra day of open beta for everyone. I was kind of expecting a bit more of a reward because this was a pretty in-depth Easter egg, but I think this was insanely cool and one of the best Pawn Takes Pawn Easter eggs that we have had yet, because it felt very interactive, that you had to actually go onto the beta and look at specific details inside of multiplayer maps that Treyarch clearly have, you know, designed intentionally for these Easter eggs to make sense. And it really makes you appreciate all the details and the story building that Treyarch are doing here, where we have storyline from campaign, which was very obviously being connected via Raul Menendez and the cartel map and everything going on in there. But now we have this with Miami and this with Moscow as well. It's incredibly interesting, and this is all layers and layers of stuff that's going to be built up in the single player campaign, and this could potentially have some implications as well to characters we could see in Zombies 2. Massive shout out to GeekyPastTimes, who put in most of the work in solving this. It was a community effort. I was also alongside working this all out as it was being discovered, but huge shout out to Geeky. You can check out his links down below in the description. Go tell him and his community are the GOATs. But if you enjoyed this video, you found it awesome to just look over a new Easter egg in Cold War, drop this video a thumbs up, subscribe, as I'll be bringing you tons more videos like this, and of course more zombie videos very soon. Take care guys, thanks for watching.